Welcome back to Reverstan. I am Premier Rever, and I am going to take our country to greatness. I hope. Either that or we'll be wiped out by Greece in the next few months. Well, not months, but it'd probably take us a little longer to get ready to attack them. So, just to do a brief recap, we have are trying to diligently work on improving our construction. We only have 6 factories towards anything. We haven't really done a whole lot. We've gotten, to the point where we're about to become fascist, nationalism focus here. We've got a little bit of ideology heading that way, 7%, and we need a lot of equipment in order to get our troops up to full strength. If we take a look, one thing I forgot to look at, we're pretty much at full strength here. So one of the things I want to do, let's see, how far along is our training here? And I don't mind leaving these guys train a little bit, because when they train extra, even though it's taking away our manpower a bit, we are getting a little bit of extra Army experience from this, right? So see how it says 0.032, which isn't breaking my heart. Because it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit of that even before we get into war, right? Which we'll get a lot of it once we start actually attacking people. So let's let these guys train a little bit, but let's keep an eye on it while we fast forward time. Now, what are we doing with our researches? Yeah, construction 1 is about to get done. So why don't we decide now so we might pause time, but we'll be a little bit quicker about it. So we'll be done that. Now we're already getting our Marines trained, and then we definitely want to get this improved, but there's going to be a big, actually, you know what, that's 1938. We want to get this improvement if we can, but there's no real hurry for that, right? In addition to that, I want to get this artillery improvement, but again, we don't have any artillery, so it's really coming down. Now, we could start talking about doing a land doctrine, right? But again, this is mostly going to be, well, this would help. I mean, the superior firepower will help, but it's mostly geared towards eventually doing the artillery, right? Now, this is for support artillery, and this is for, like, frontline artillery. I'm not sure that one is particularly better than the other, but I think what we will do is we'll probably go down this actual artillery and put artillery units into our regular divisions. But that's for a future me kind of problem, right? So we do have a decision available, which that's right. We lift that decision available to remind us that we can open up a political discourse which will make it less likely that we have a civil war, and I kind of think it's worth that. But let's wait until we get, a little bit more, a little bit more support for our being fascist at that point. All right, so let's close that. Let's open up the Army, and like I said, we'll let them train. Now, at a certain point, we're going to have to. We might end up with a training army anyway, but let's see. I don't want to waste the manpower too much by training troops that are not going to get a bonus. So let's pause this real quick. Get our details. I did say come in here and decide. So the bottom line is what I was trying to get at and never really finished my full thought was let's keep focused on getting the industry, right? And this will increase our factory output, which will be a good thing, right? There we go. So how is our nationalism focus going? Pretty good. Let's come back over, keep an eye on the troops. Yeah, they should be done. Once they all get up there, we'll cut that off. Hopefully we'll get up to maybe even 5 points. Might let us make a small change. Though I think we really want 10 to be able to do anything, but we'll see. There we go. Another one down. One more to go. Yeah, it'd be nice to even get up to 5 there, wouldn't it? Yeah, we're not going to do it though. That's all right. All right. So let's just stop them from training. So we got up to 4, but there we go. So they're fully trained. Nationalism focus is done. So let's go to the details. So now what we want to do, now that we got this, that should get our nationalism going as much as possible, right? So let's go over to this industrial effort. So it'll give us a bonus for our next industrial research, which doesn't, I mean, that's good, but it's not really what we're looking for. But it'll allow us, the next one we do, we'll be able to get some more factories going so that we can get this. It just takes forever to build a factory when you only have 6 of them. Certainly there's a momentum argument. Now we can also change our government, right? So we probably have a few choices. We can do this industrial concern, which we get industrial research speed, right, which would be good. But I think it might even be better if we were to get a captain of industry, right, where our infrastructure speed, civilian factory construction speed, and refineries, which we're not too worried about at this moment, but we can get that civilian construction speed up kind of ASAP, right? Now, the other things we could do, you know, are like war industrialists is fine, but we're not building any of those military factories. That'll probably be the third one we get. So let's go ahead and get this one. And when it comes to the other things, a lot of these are about getting designers, right? Like I said, this guy, it's research speed. These are all about, you know, increasing your research speeds for different things. Now, the Army one is another one we'll probably want to get, because we'll get a better division attack speed. I'd rather have the offense. I don't picture this being a defensive kind of playthrough, at least not at this point. So anyway, we'll get the Army offensive guy at that point, and we're not too worried about that. Now the other one, you know, we talked about in the last episode was getting this the war economy going. We can also talk about like reducing the amount of exports at some point. So we'll get that. All right. So how are we doing on our fascism? Yeah. So we should build up our points again to where we can still do that. You know, hold a what was it in our decision there? Hold a open political discourse. Right. So once we get back up to 75 points, we can talk about that. But good. We got a little bonus there. Industrial efforts going. Yeah. It looks like. Well, let's just fast forward again. Now, how are we doing on our equipment production? Yeah, we're down to needing 17,000, and we're slowly producing the convoys too, which is a good thing. All right, the Olympic Games are done in Germany, and yeah, how are we doing on our? Oh, we can make a decision. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get that decision. I don't think it expires or anything. Yeah, so we're just going to do that, and hopefully that, you know, the national referendum will make it a little bit less likely. Well, that will make it less likely that we have a war. Now, what decision? Okay, so that just gave us more of these decisions. Yeah, you know what? We'll leave that. Okay. Slow down. All right, let's do our national focus first. All right, so that gave us an extra research bonus, which is good. I'm just going to click OK. Oh, look, we got 2 of those done at the same time. Wonderful. So we want to go for this construction effort, which will give us an extra civilian factory. All right, right now it's all about the factories, at least for a little while. So now if we come in here, does that instantly, here? No, I don't see it. Now that it may be, oh no, you know what, we're doing 5 for consumer goods, which hurts. Yeah, so I mean, it seems like 33% of our civilian factories. Yeah, now let's take a look at the trade. One of the negative things about this trade always being up. Yeah, we're still -1, so we're in the same shape we were as far as our trade goes. We're not producing anything more, but we have some researches to select. All right, so what can we do over here, right? Do we want to get excavation? No, we really don't. We're not really excavating anything, right? If we come back and look at our trade, you know, we have like more chromium than any country could ever use, I think. And nobody seems to want it, so we're not exporting anything. And even if we were, we're really not, you know, the excavating just doesn't do us any good in this particular situation. So we're going to skip over that. Now, fuel storage would be good, but we don't really have much worries about, you know, oil, right? We don't have any oil. We don't have any tanks, or we don't even have motorized at this point. So, yeah, there's really not much we can do in this area. Let's take a look over here. I mean, we could get the radio, which, you know, is certainly on our list of things to get. But what I'm thinking of is we can either do one of two, well, we have to do two things, right? So what I'm thinking of is, just because these take so long, why don't we get started on our, you know, our land doctrine here. And mobile warfare is going to be like if you have a lot of vehicles. And I'm thinking that, you know, mass assault, we're really in the long run not going to have that much manpower to really, you know, to really want us to do this. The grand battle plan could be interesting, but we don't really, you know, we're not really looking for, you know, high tech. You know, we're not a high tech country. Like you could consider this if you were, say, America or something, where you're going to do extensive planning and you really want to take advantage. You know, because it takes America a while to get into war. You're going to get a lot of research done. So for us, I think it's just sort of kind of screaming out a little bit for, you know, do the superior firepower where, again, we're trying to take the troops that we have and just increase their abilities. Like this will give all of them 20% soft attack bonus, which is nice, right? All frontline battalions. So, and we can also get suppressive barrage. So let's go ahead and do this. We have to pick two of them, right? We're going to have to pick another one pretty shortly after that. So let's come over here. And the other thing I'd like to get is this one, just because it's going to give us, you know, little bonuses for all of our land type troops. So that's just another thing I think that's kind of highest up the list. We want to make these regular infantry units and divisions as strong as possible. So armies and divisions. So there we go. All right, so how are we doing on our research? Construction effort, we just picked that. That's right. Okay, good. So let's fast forward again. All right, so what are we going to do next? Let's take a look at construction effort. Yeah, just construction effort 2. Yeah, see, we're barely producing any units because we just don't have enough people or equipment. Until this reinforcements gets filled up. See, there you go. You can kind of see it's, you know, counting up the. There we go. All right, so now we have to do another one. Concentrated equipment. So it's just, we just need a bunch of equipment for the reinforcements, 5,000. Alrighty, so now what do we do here? Yeah, again, there's really nothing in here that's that appealing to me. We can't do this one until 1938. Basic fire control system. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to have that many ships right in the beginning. Radio wouldn't be a bad one to get. But we oh, you know what? We can take care of this now. Yeah, we'll get our Marines going in a second here. So as far as, you know, support equipment, you know what? Let's do one last thing over here. Let's do the radio to get our reinforcement rate up, right? And after that, I think that's going to be about everything we can do, like before 1937 or 38, to just get our regular infantry up and going, right? All right, very good. So now what I want to do is click on this army, and I want to switch all of these units over to Marines. No additional equipment needed. We'll actually gain some equipment, so we're going to have less powerful things. Let's cancel this. Yeah, well, let's just, you know what, cancel that for 1 second. I want to take a look. Why are they, oops, I'm going to do edit. Yeah, see, there's only 4 units in here, but unfortunately we can't add, because we didn't get up to that 5, right? But I'm not sure that we need to. These don't need to be the most powerful units you ever created, and they're actually, when you look at their soft attack, it is actually pretty high. So, yeah, let's go back. You know, well, let's get rid of that. So, I mean, they're actually, equivalent, even though they're a lot less, they're actually like the equivalent of our regular. Let's come here. Can we have two open at once? No. But see, like soft attack here is 54. So two of these is the equivalent to one of those. And again, these guys are just going to go in there enough to disrupt the Greeks, right? And we can talk about improving what that means in the future. All right, so let's go back to this army. And yeah, let's switch all of these guys over. There we go. So see how that set their thing back anyway? And now what I want to do is come back into here, and I want to train a Marine division, and then I want to, where do I grab it? Here? Oh, click here. And then I actually want to make these like a higher priority than anything else. And I want to set them to come into this Izmir as well, right? And in this case, I do want to do one, and I want to do as many of these as I can. 3, right? So that should put all of our efforts towards getting this Marine divisions going. So that we'll have 6 Marine divisions that we can transport over there to help in our attack. Now, how are we doing here? Yeah, 37%. We need to get over 50% there. So we're in good shape. Everything is progressing as well as I would expect it to up until this point. So it looks like the next thing that's going to happen is the construction effort here. Now, once we get the other units, we'll get them all training together. How's that sound? And we're getting up in our points. We already did our, calm everybody down about us becoming fascists. Yeah, so let's pause it once we get construction effort done. Okay. Details. Now, so that was construction effort 1. Good. We got another factory, right? Civilian factory. So we'll get another one with construction effort 2. But I did want to show you one other thing. Industrial effort, I'm not overly concerned with that, but it's certainly not going to hurt us, right? But here's the other thing. Extra research slot. So now we're just going to plow down here until we get to this extra research slot. Now you can get a second extra research slot, but we need to get, what do you call it? Requires extra research slot, but I think we need to get like construction 3 or something. I don't think we can just plow into having 5 of them. But we'll see. All right, but anyway, we got this selected. And let's just, we got to pause for a second. Yeah, see how once we put the priority to these guys, they're going to get trained like much quicker. So we'll just let them train up a bit. At least get till they get, well, you know what? No, let's deploy them. Yeah, and then that's 3 of them right there. Let's add them to this. They're a little behind. I was hoping they would all come out about the same strength, but this is fine. So let's just select everybody. We'll get them all training. And I don't care. There's only a few of them. That might get us our extra 5th point that we kind of wanted, right? If we go over on the training there. All right, so how are we doing on this? Yeah, so the next thing I think we're going to get is support weapons. And how is our fascism doing? Our fascism is at 46%. The threat of communism. Yeah, so I think that's just a message that our movement is moving forward, right? Pause. Yes, we need a referendum, political power. Yeah, this is what we were talking about with having that message up. Good, so we should get a referendum, and that should have already really switched us. Yep, we are fascist now. So that means, so the question is, are we going to be ready for Greece? And ready or not, here we come, right? As far as that goes. Like I said, I think we're more powerful than Greece. There's no reason to delay this at all. So we're going to come right over here. Now that we are not non-aligned, we can justify a war goal if we have enough points. Let's see if we do. If not, we may have to wait. And I don't know. I don't think it makes any difference, right? 48. Yeah, so I don't think it makes any difference. You can actually just select on the map, so we'll say that. I've never noticed that picking one of these, I'm not sure what advantage it has, other than maybe if you spend a bunch of points, maybe it's, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, let's just send that, so it's going to be 240 days before that happens. Now, another thing you might notice is their independence is guaranteed by Greece. But in case you didn't know this, so is their independence is guaranteed by Romania, and so is ours. So the fact that we're both guaranteed by the same country means that that country shouldn't interfere with us attacking them, right? So if they were guaranteed by Britain, Britain might most likely would come and attack us if we try to take over Greece. But because Romania is guaranteeing both of us, then it's, like, it just doesn't pick sides at that point. So we should be okay. There we go. So we got our war goal going, which was, we want to get that ASAP. And yeah, there we go. So let's see. What else are we waiting on? Construction 4, 2 days for weapons. Let's just go forward 2 days. Let's pause it again. All right, so we got our support weapons. And yeah, so now we're getting into kind of the extra stuff. We're already doing the radio, right? And we can't do this. And this one has some 1937 stuff. Yes. So we can start going back to doing this research, right? And we want to, which one do we want to get like really quick? Yeah, I think I want to get construction speed. These are both pretty nice things to have, though. You know what? This will be even, yeah, you know what? One of the things to keep in mind is that this is only 120 days to do. This would be 160. So getting that extra bonus, you sort of want to spend it on the most expensive thing, if that makes sense, because it's going to give you the biggest bonus. So yeah, let's get the construction speed because it's a bigger bonus. Plus we kind of want that anyway. It's pretty high up on the list. So how are we doing with our construction? Yeah, we're up to 7 factories. And once this gets done, we'll get an 8th one working on that. And yeah, so we're just plugging away. Now we'll get some factories when we take over Greece, hopefully. Yeah. So I think the next thing that's going to happen is this. Now how are we doing with the training? Yeah, we're back to this. Yeah, so we should be giving reinforcements the bulk of our stuff. We got 240 days, so we should be in good shape. We're down to 13,000 here, and pretty shortly we'll work on the bonus for more factory output. All right, so let's keep going with our fast forwarding until something happens. How is this army doing? We're still doing. Yeah, well, this is just our justification. Yeah, justification happening. Yep, construction effort should be the next thing to pop here. Let's pause it for a second. Yeah, like I said, we're just going to keep going right down this line until we get that next research going. We only have 43 political points. Yeah, superior fire, so we'll get a land doctrine done pretty quickly there. Now, one of the things you definitely want to consider, too, is that those researches kind of come into play here, right? Because over time, especially with this land doctrine, it's good to get those research bonuses with your government effects if you can. Let's hop back to this army. Don't want them overtraining too much. All right, so now we got radio done. So we'll hop back over to here because, yeah, let's get this production cap going next. And superior firepower will be done soon. What's this guy doing? Nowhere near it. Let's hop back over to these troops so we can stop them training. We should be getting like a little tiny bonus for not worth enough to worry about. Details. All right, so the question is, yeah, let's get the factory output before we worry about, right? So we're going to get more concentrated factory output before we worry about the, what do you call it? Whatever else we were going to get. We don't have enough political points. More land doctrine. We'll worry about the land doctrine later, which is nice to have, but you know, we're better off getting things that don't take quite so long. Okay. How's our production? Yeah, we're down to 11,000. That's things that we need. And if we come here, yeah, let's hover over this. No, let's go to this. Let's just take a look. Yeah, if we look from new divisions, yeah, so from division re-import, we need 3,100. So just because we're about to go into a war in not too long, what I want to do is switch this over to prioritize the reinforcements. I want them to get all of their infantry equipment first, because we'll just worry about these other divisions second, right? All right, so let's hop back over to here. Yeah, so we're getting ready for a war. I don't know if we may start it right before this episode ends. Yeah, let's go take a look at the date here. Let's just let these guys finish so I can turn them off. Didn't get quite that far. Alright, good. So now what else can we do here? Yeah, again, still not worried about excavation. Maybe after we get Greece, it would be good to get this because they have some things worth excavating. But it looks like we're kind of done in here again, right? And then as far as this goes, I want to get this motorized going. I want to get support equipment going just because, you know, it's nice to be able to give our armies these bonuses. But we don't really have any military points at this point. Not that we shouldn't get ahead of this, but I think, you know, we don't really have any artillery at this point either, but, you know, this one's very doable for us. Yeah, you know what? No, let's go for support equipment first. It takes a little less time to do anyway. And then we can at least start getting, whenever we can, that'll let us start getting it built, right? Which will be good. So let's just click on Greece while we're... So our war justification is going to be till September 23rd. So that's not a bad thing because hopefully that'll give us some time to, you know, get the reinforcements. How much do we need now? 2,400. Yeah, so we'll be able to get all of our regular army, you know, fully decked out in gear, which is pretty important. All right, let's click on it. Yep, okay, let's stop these guys from training. International focus. Chinese front. Yeah, we're not worried about that. It's good to send your guys off to those wars if you want, because you can get some army experience, but to be honest, you don't really want, when you're about to go into a war, you really don't want to change up your armies too much because you'll end up like actually weakening them more. So we're just going to keep plowing down this one thing. I know it's not very exciting, but there we go. Alright, so we're only at May. Let the giant sleep. Yeah. Research, 43 days. Yeah, so it looks like our research will pop up next. Production, yeah, we're down to 9,000. Good. So our regular reinforcements. The Hindenburg incident. Oh, they didn't blow up the Hindenburg. That's kind of interesting. All right, let's see. We have a modify government thing up here. Let's see what the decision is first. I think I want to modify the government, but yeah, we don't want press censorship. That's fine. Yeah, how is our... Yeah, we're getting to be mostly fascist, right? So I think what we'll go for next is this industrial concern, which will give us more industrial research speed. Or do we want... Is there something else? Yeah, this is war industry. We're going to go here. Yeah, so probably... Do we want to go into a war economy. We don't have that much manpower. See, war economy is going to give us, yeah, the conversion rate wouldn't be good. That's a pretty good one for us to get now, but then, yeah, more than either one of these is good to get. Training time is going to be a little bit longer, but we'll have access to a lot more people. Now, we're not really out of people anyway because we can't make enough stuff. But yeah, let's get extensive conscription here. And that should give us a pretty big bonus to our manpower. And then we can talk about war economy, I think. I'm not sure if that's always the best way to do it, but let's see if it doesn't help get rid of that low manpower issue. Strengthened numbers. This focus should be done. I think which one will get there first? Yeah, this. We're justifying. By the way, you don't have to do these all immediately. Like, you can wait because it does build up, some things. So let's. Oh, look, and the Hindenburg didn't crash, and Amelia Earhart made it around the world. Good for her. And we are still justifying against Greece. All right, so I'm going to click OK on this one, details on this one. All right, let's head over here. Yeah, I'm not too worried about conversion speed, nothing over here. It's not 1938, so once we get to 38, we'll do this one. Since we're working on, we could go ahead and get this, but I kind of just want to wait until we have the tank designer. I think our first focus would be on artillery. So let's go ahead and get this one, even though we can't do the improved artillery probably until the next war. Well, because of that, why don't we get engineering? We're more likely to do support equipment, right? So let's research that. Yeah, we're really, what year is this? Okay, 1938. Yeah, we can't do these quite yet. Why don't we, even though we don't really need it, it will help us with our units. Yeah, let's do motorized. Just because if we look at the support companies, I like to get this field hospital and logistics going. So again, this is in line with helping our infantry the most, right? And we can hold off on the artillery until we're a little closer to 1939. All right, good. Look, we're up to 9 factories, which is excellent. And we got 67,000 people. So manpower shouldn't be our problem. It's still going to just be production. And speaking of production, why don't we start up with this, even though we're not actually going to be able to do much with it. But when we do get factories, we'll start being able to do a little bit with the support equipment. But I'm not going to do anything until our infantry equipment is in good shape. And just so you guys know, in case you weren't aware of it, after we get this research slot, we can get some more military factories with this armament effort. We can get 3 more of them. And then, by the way, we'll also be able to jump over to this construction. So we have to debate whether we want to start doing, a few more military factories or construction factories. But I think we'll do that in the next episode. Let's just get, oops, we can close this. Yeah, so infrastructure and effort. Yeah, we'll pause in a second. Did the votes really change? Purges. There we go. So there we go. Now we can get an extra research slot, which I like to think of as my land doctrine research slot. Right? Because we're kind of running out of things that are real. I mean, we want to get it all researched, but we're sort of running out of things that are pertinent to the current situation to research, right? So there we go. So how are we doing on research? Yeah, let's just get up to right before the war, before this episode ends. Click Japan, they're at war. Okay. Yeah, so we're still motivating against Greece. And we're going to have to do something after this concentrated factory is built. So when does, it said September somethingeth, right? All right, let's click here. All right, now let's slow down for a minute. And the justification, yeah, we got 40 more days. So let's go and take a look at these troops. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to get these guys deployed, right? And then, you know, we'll still be producing plenty of other troops at that point. Let's come in there and let's select all of them. And I want to set them into their own army at this point. I want to, why do we, okay, it scared me for a second. I don't want to assign anybody as the general, but I want to come here and I want to make it the Pitchfork Green Army, right? Green troops are inexperienced, and the pitchfork is like for peasants, even though it's probably a trident if you want to look at it a different way. I certainly wouldn't want to be the peasant troops, but I guess it's up to, you know, your own creativity there. So then what we can do is as we get new troops, we'll get them to train up in this army. So let's set them to training. And yeah, so now what we can also do is I want to set them to garrison this area. Right? And then that way, even though it's sort of a double duty right now, when it comes to these guys who are all trained up, ready to go, right? And another thing I want to do is let's get these guys over to here. I'm not worried about the patrol in the Black Sea. That's our little submarine force. And then we have these guys who have a few battleships and destroyers in there. So once the war gets started, we'll get them right out into here. And then the other thing we should do is, where are our airplanes? Good, they're right up here already. Let's get them training. Right? And we probably could even consider, well, we don't want to run our fuel down too much. Even though these guys are like green, I really, you know what, we can't give them a commander. Let's definitely do that. Good. So at least we have a commander in there. Yeah, it would have probably been a good idea to train them, but I didn't really want to. I don't want to waste the resources. All we need is enough dominance to be able to launch our Marines over to here, right? And as soon as the war gets justified, we'll set them. It'll take them a little while, but that's okay, because these guys can press in, and then we can, if they do really well, then we can cancel or change the Marine landing. Potentially. Okay, so let's just double check when this is going to kick off. September 23rd. All right, so let's you know what? Yeah, we'll do pretty fast right now and get it close to September 23rd. All right, more research. Good. So we've got that kind of maxed out. It's not 1938 yet, so we can't do anything more here. I mean, we could do it, but we get a penalty. I don't want to. It's hard enough to get the end researches done without taking penalties. Yeah, Recon Company's nice for speeding things up. But, yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and. I don't know, you know what? We're about to get that other. You know what I'd rather have in the long run is Land Doctor. Yeah, we're going to get another research as soon as this is done here. So yeah, this will even be done for the war. Yeah, and we're going to slow down time a little bit here real shortly. The 20th is when the war kicks off. Or not the war kicks off, but because we can declare war at that moment. All right, good. So we got a lot of days left on all of that stuff. 7 days. Actually, the war will kick off first. All right, so let's pause it. You know, I'm going to just pause it right here. The episode is about as long as I want to make them. And we are now ready to declare war on Greece, pretty much. Or ready or not, here we come, as I said before. So let's switch back over to our armies. Make sure they're still training. These guys are ready to go. These guys are all trained up, you know, as ready to be as they will be. Yeah, so I think we're ready enough. Let's take a quick look at this. Yeah, we're up to 9 factories. Our production got that little bonus, so, you know, we still need plenty of reinforcements, but let's hover over that. Let's hover over. Yeah, so this should just be those other new reinforcements that we kicked out, right? And see why I did that? Like that'll strengthen those guys up kind of immediately, type thing, right? So we at least have some troops that will leave over there, and then once a few more of these gets going, we'll kick them out, and then just kind of keep 6 or 8 troops at least, and then we'll just let them train regularly. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. We made some more progress, and we're going to get into our first war at the beginning of the next episode. So I hope to see you there. Have a good day, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.